Title: The Empire of Ash. Once, in the forgotten age of man, there lived a warlord named Kyle of Virelon, a man born not to rule, but to conquer. With eyes like molten steel and a voice that could sway armies, Kyle dreamed of building an empire vast enough to swallow kingdoms whole. He wasn't born to nobility. He clawed his way up from the mud, leading mercenaries, taming tribes, and forging warriors in blood and fire. But Kyle had one anchor in his storm-swept life: his wife, Elira. She was no queen, no warrior, just a healer with a voice like spring rain who saw in Kyle the man he could be, not the monster he would become. As Kyle's armies grew, so too did his ambition. He began to speak of a united world under one rule, his. Kingdom after kingdom fell beneath his banners, but with every conquest, Elira pleaded with him to stop, to turn back, to remember peace. He promised he would. Just one more campaign, just one more city. But fate is cruel to those who delay their redemption. One night, while Kyle was away at war, an assassin's blade found Elira. His enemies struck where he was weakest. She died in her sleep alone. When Kyle returned, all he found was her blood and the scent of lavender in the sheets. He lost his mind. He tore down the city responsible, buried its people alive, and burned the fields so nothing would ever grow again. But it wasn't enough. His empire, once built on vision, became a monument to vengeance. Desperate to bring her back, Kyle ventured into the black abyss, a rift between realms. There in the screaming dark, he met a demon who offered him a terrible bargain. "Your soul, Kyle, and I shall give you back your love." Without hesitation, Kyle agreed. Elira returned. But something was wrong. Her eyes were empty, her warmth gone. She didn't speak. She didn't smile. She was only a hollow echo of the woman he loved. In truth, the demon hadn't restored her soul. It had created a puppet, and Kyle knew it. Rage consumed him. The part of him that had once wept, that had once loved, withered. The man who had sought to build a future now began to destroy. He turned his armies into death cults, his cities into factories of torment. His soldiers painted their armor with the blood of the innocent. He ordered the mass execution of those who resisted his rule and laughed while nations burned. Kyle became a tyrant not out of greed, but out of grief twisted into hatred. The gods watched in horror. They had ignored his rise, believing he was just another mortal with delusions of grandeur. But when Kyle, now possessed by the demon he had bargained with, marched on the sacred cities, razed temples, and slaughtered priests, they could remain silent no longer. So the gods descended. They came not as whispers and dreams, but as thunder on the wind. The skies split and stars fell like arrows. The final battle was waged on the fields of Thalsira, where time itself broke under the weight of divine war. Kyle fought like a god himself, untouchable, unkillable. The demon inside him howled with power. But in the end, he looked upon the puppet of Elira one last time and saw the truth. He had killed her a second time, with his own choices. In a moment of broken clarity, Kyle begged the gods to destroy him, and they did. With a sword forged from starlight, the god of justice struck him down. Kyle's empire crumbled. His name was erased from memory. His cities turned to ash, and the land where he fell became a cursed wasteland, the Silent Vale. Only the wind remembers him now, and in its howl, if you listen closely, you might hear a name carried on the dust. Kyle, the man who lost everything and burned the world trying to get it back.